Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today we are introducing a new segment to the show called Football Legends featuring your very own Bobby Butler. On this show, we will interview former teammates and other legends to bring you inside the locker room of professional football and college football. On this show, I'm telling you right now, get ready to do a lot of laughing and learning about the game that we love so much. So let's get started with some old school highlights from back in the day. All right, that's me, number 11, the strong safety on that side, picking one off, going to the house. And then I also was a quarterback in high school. Matter of fact, that was my main position in high school. Pretty much my whole life, I was more of an offensive player than I was a defensive player. Nobody knew I played offense when I got to college. Things changed. But, we didn't do bad down there at Delray Beach Atlantic High School. I played in two state title games, and, we finished pretty strong my sophomore year. And so that's some of those old school tapes in black and white. In Delray, we have a strong history of football players. Back in those days, we played both ways, both sides of the ball. You play both sides of the ball, you're better athletes. And so I played quarterback safety. I was also the punter. I was also the punt returner. I was also deep on the kickoff return. The only time I came off the field was doing the kickoff team. My mama didn't like that so much. She always told the coach he was wearing me out. But yeah, it's just how it was done back in the day. And I'm glad I had a chance to play both sides of the ball. So you can see I didn't throw the ball so bad. Everybody assumed I was just a running quarterback, but we threw the ball around a little bit. That's me punting the ball there. Some of this stuff is so comical to me today. It always gives me great laughs. I'm the quarterback. This guy named Kirby Jordan, played at Lake Worth High School. Actually, was my cousin, was the fastest guy in Palm Beach County, ran the 9,400-yard dash in high school. So I put that in there to show you that he didn't score on me. He couldn't go all the way without me catching him. That guy I'm throwing the ball to named Mo Wesley, probably the best athlete I played with in my whole life in every sport. He's a football, basketball, baseball, track guy, except until I played with Deion Sanders. Mo Wesley's probably the best athlete I ever played with. And there's me hitting Mo on a deep ball. He caught it, but he tripped, messed up my scoring touchdown, passing touchdown. But he was a great football player. But that guy rushed for 1,000 yards in the backfield his senior year, had 10 interceptions at corner. I think he returned about 4 punt returns for touchdowns. Averaged about 24 points a game in basketball, was drafted out of high school in baseball. He was a phenomenal player. And that's me returning a punt back for a touchdown back in the day. I think I had a little scrambling ability when I got the ball. I was faster than everybody. I can, pretty much escape anything. Those were the fun days of football. I tell you that, when you're playing, you're also playing a significant role in your team and you're winning, and there's no more fun than that, I promise you. These old Atlantic High School days, we will never forget these days. In my class, we always remember, the beat tag parties, the sign painting parties, getting ready to play teams every week. And it was a true, a total community commitment to football in Delray Beach. Touchdown pass was just a flick of the wrist after a little scramble. And this guy here, Larry Coffey, he's my best friend. We grew up together, and I may talk a little bit about him today in this segment. But we were best friends, really close. And his dad was a great high school football coach, coached at the all-black high school in Delray called Carver High, who won back-to-back state titles. At that time, the only team in Palm Beach County in any sport to win a state title. They started the tradition. This is a punt return here against Suncoast. Running down the sideline. That's Anthony Carter, number 21 there. He was a punter as well. Back then we did everything. All your best athletes did everything. And that's a pick six for a touchdown. My senior year, I had 7 interceptions, 6 for touchdowns. And I guess that's why everybody in the country recruited me to play defense as opposed to playing quarterback, right? And so it was fun. It was good. In anything you do in life, not just football, the more you can do, the better. You may find that find out that you're a better value doing something else that you don't think you're the best at. Look at my towel. That's me right there playing strong safety, number 11, coming up, making the hit. That's Pahokee High School. Ricky Jackson standing over there. We bootleg to Ricky's side, and Jerome Burgess caught a great touchdown. He had great hands. All you got to do is put it near him. He would catch it. And that's it. We go ahead against Haines City in the state quarterfinals that year. Well, just a little bit of some of the old stuff that I used to do back in the day. And, it's funny. I want to share my story today with you on the beginning segment of this new show called Legends. It's amazing because I want people to know that, look, yeah, me, I played, some of you guys in high school knew I played high school ball and I was a quarterback. Y'all never knew how I got to play that position. You never knew the work I had to put in to play. People in college never knew I played quarterback in high school. They just know me of what they saw me do. So I just want to go back a little bit, and hopefully some parents are watching who have kids. Maybe this can help you point your kids in the right direction, right? So first of all, when I was 9 years old, me and my dad was watching a game. And we was watching the 49ers play against the Chicago Bears. And the Bears had this great running back named Gale Sayers. Everybody know who Gale Sayers is. And I'm telling you, he was so exciting. That day, I made a decision. I said to myself that day that I am a professional football player. And here's what I did. I don't know where I got this from. Nobody told me to do this. My dad definitely didn't instruct me to do this. I went to my room, took a piece of paper, wrote down with a pen that I am a professional football player. I was 9 years old. Wrote it down, put it on my dresser, and read it all the time, out loud. Then when I would go outside, I would take we played street ball. Street ball was king in Delray Beach. So I would take a pen and take my white t-shirt, write number 40 on it, put Sayers on the back, go outside and put the jukes on everybody. Let me tell you one thing. I was a small guy, but one thing the Lord gifted me with was speed, and I could run the football. And so I would go out and mimic and try to do everything I saw Gale Sayers do, which was fantastic, right? And so I got pretty good at it, carrying the ball, running the ball. And then just playing street ball, I got really good at passing the ball, just throwing the ball. I mean, I can throw the ball on a dime, before I even played organized football. And so one day, when I was in the streets playing, this coach named Bump Mitchell, I saw him pull up in a car. I didn't think anything of it. We were playing football in the street. And at this time, I'm playing with guys who was a year and 2 years older because we were playing in front of my cousin Tony's house. And so he's watching, and all of a sudden he just stopped the game. He started asking me, Bobby, how old are you? And I told him how old I was. He said, well, I'm coaching the 80-pound team, the Delray Rocks. Do you want to play? And I go, of course I want to play. And so I went out for football with him, and I was the starting quarterback right away because I can throw the football. Well, the first game we played in, we lost, and he found out right away that, look, this guy's fast. I need to get him more involved in the game than just sitting here waiting to pass a football. And so he put me back in the backfield, and I started playing we ran the old T formation, if anybody knows what that is. So I played left halfback, right halfback. I played fullback. And when he wanted to throw the ball, I was the quarterback, right? And so I played a little bit of everything. And I was pretty good that year. I mean, I led the team in scoring touchdowns and, was doing great things. We didn't lose a game after that first game. And I led the team in scoring. And so, after a while, you get to feel yourself. And I'm thinking that, hey, look, I don't care what we do. Just give me the ball and everything's going to be okay, right? We'll score touchdowns, right? And I felt that way. I was confident that way. And it was happening that way. But at the end of the day, what Coach Mitchell taught me, that, Bobby, this game is not about you. It's about the entirety of the team, right? So whatever I ask you to do, you do it. So one day I'm in practice and I didn't block. And so he got real mad and made the offense go get in the huddle, called me to stand beside him, looked at the defense and said, look, I'm going to blow the whistle. I want y'all to tackle him. And he looked at me and he said, you better not fall down. And so after doing that 2 or 3 times, I was ready to block. So he taught me the importance of, hey, play your role, do your assignment, do what you're supposed to do. And then after I went up in years, I got to two years later, I'm in the 8th grade, and I'm playing on the 130-pound team, and I set the bench for the first time. And I'm telling you, that hurt, sitting the bench when you've been a player. I couldn't understand it, but I am playing with guys who are 1 year and some 2 years older than me. Sat the bench behind Bubba Brown, my man Bubba Brown, Boynton Beach, Brown Funeral Home. And I played behind Bubba Brown, but I was just so disappointed every night. And the defensive coach, a guy by the name of Red Odom, he's a grandfather of Coco Golf in Delray Beach, kept telling me, he said, Bobby, we need you to play defense. And I said, Coach, I'm not playing defense. They just need to give me the ball. Bobby, we need you to play defense. Coach, I can't do that. So every night he's on me. Bobby, I need you to play defense. I'm Coach, I can't do it. I'm a quarterback, right? So to make a long story short, I made my mind up. It may serve me well if I do what my coaches are asking me to do. And so I went and I started playing defense. And that same night, I made a big hit. And everybody started jumping on me and hooraying, and I did something good, and I was excited about that. But here's what happened. Parents, I want you to hear this. This was a pivotal moment in my life because I always saw myself in my dreams of being a professional football player with the ball in my hands. But for some reason, Coach Odom saw something different in me. And so when I did that, here's what happened. I never got in the lineup. I only played in cleanup duty in the games, but I learned how to tackle. I'm in 8th grade. I learned how to tackle. Pivotal moment in my life. Then 2 years later, I'm in high school, starting as a sophomore, 135 pounds, starting at free safety. Playing against guys like O.J. Anderson at Forest Hill High School. Big backs, 230 pounds. Had my best game as a sophomore against him, making about 6 tackles in the secondary, right? And so 2 years after that, I'm all everything in high school, great quarterback. Y'all saw how I played quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Florida, put up some large numbers, threw a lot of touchdown passes, scored a lot of touchdowns. And nobody recruited me to play quarterback except for 2 teams to run wishbone. And I didn't want to limit myself to playing wishbone because I think you can get a running back to play quarterback in a wishbone offense. And so everybody in the country recruited me to play defense. And I went to defense and I played at Florida State. And I tell you, on my journey, so many coaches taught me a lot. Like I told you, Coach Mitchell taught me that the game was not about me. Red Odom taught me how to tackle. And I had to do something that I didn't really want to do to find a real place. And that being the moment in my life that really changed my life, because I went to school on a free scholarship to tackle people. And then I got drafted in the first round and played 12 years with Atlanta Falcons tackling people. Little Bobby Butler from Delray Beach. And I like to say this to you too. It started with me just by writing that goal down. I am a professional football player. And I said it so much that I believed it. See, the only thing that we can control as humans is our thoughts, right? Is our thoughts. And so my thought process was, I'm going to make it regardless of what anybody say. And I really meant it. I really believed it with all my heart. I never saw myself being small. I never saw myself being not able to do it. I just saw myself doing it. And in my household, I had a great support team. My mom was always supportive. My mom always taught me I can do anything I wanted to do. And I share this with people. Even to this day, I'm 61 years old. My mom never called me by my first name. She always affirmed me. She calls me champ. My whole life, she called me champ, right? So when you got a mom who's supporting you, telling you can do anything you want to do. And then my best friend was my support. We were dreaming. He was dreaming to go play college ball. I was dreaming to go play in the NFL. And his dad was this great football coach that I can go to their house and just feed and be inspired by all the great players that came through there. Which my biggest hero was a guy that played on his high school team, his dad's high school team, Carver High Delray, named Anthony Penn. I want to be Anthony Penn. And I tell you, I tried to do everything to mimic him. And in high school, I did my best. But Anthony Penn was a great quarterback. He's even a better man. I love Anthony Penn. Shout out to you, Tony. And the guys who inspired me over the years, Greg Dobson, I call him the GOAT, the greatest player ever come out of Delray Beach. I got a chance to watch and see these guys play, and it inspired me. But I want to end with this. When you have a vision or a goal for your life, and you speak it out loud, the Bible says faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. I'm going to tell you this. You're going to get faith for anything you hear over and over and over again. And I heard out of my own mouth that I'm a professional football player. I believe that. Didn't matter what a coach thought about me. They couldn't make me quit. You sit me on the bench, I'm not going to quit. Now, I had some friends who were great athletes that if they didn't have their way, they would quit. And I said they didn't have a vision for it. They didn't have a goal. And so when you have goals and when you repeat it, when that faith gets in you, what happens is you have an obsession and a burning desire will grow in your heart, and you'll do anything you got to do to make it happen. It'll make you study better. It'll make you get good grades so you can stay eligible. It'll make you do everything. It'll make you stay out of trouble. When your friends are trying to pull you to do things you shouldn't be doing, hey, look, you'll go home and say, no, I can't do that, because you have a vision for your life. And so I just want to say that to you guys. That's my story. And in a short bit is that I wrote my goal down when I was 9 years old. I followed it. When people tried to talk me out of it, I wouldn't believe it. My fifth grade teacher asked everybody one day on the first day of class, what do y'all want to be when you grow up? And everything everybody said was good until they came to me. And she said, well, Bobby, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be a professional football player. And she said, well, you're going to need a backup plan. The whole class started laughing. I promise you, I'm the only person in that classroom became what they said they wanted to be that day. And so it all starts with your thought process and what you believe that you can achieve. If you can believe it and conceive it, you will achieve it. So if you like the video today, share it with your friends. We'll be back next week with something fantastic. I tell you, when you come back next week, bring your tissues, bring whatever you got to cry, because we're going to laugh hard next week. We're going to have a fun time with this segment called Football Legends, featuring your very own Bobby Butler.